Jason in the Snow, Killer Hippos, and A24 just got Texas Chainsaw? Yeah, this week's news is unhinged. Welcome back to Freshly Brewed Horror. I'm Brad the Caffeinated Horror Dude, and if you're into horror movies, games, and well, pretty much anything horror, you're in the right place. So if it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button. I've got a fresh cup of Coffin Creek in hand, and I'm ready to dive into this week's news. First up, Sydney Sweeney is heading deeper into horror with The Caretaker, and this one just got a serious upgrade behind the camera. David Bruckner, the guy behind The Night House and the recent Hellraiser, is set to write and direct for Universal. The movie is based on Marcus Cleaver's novel about a young woman who takes a caretaking job that spirals into something way darker than it first appears. So yeah, this already sounds like one of those slow burn nightmare gigs where the job description definitely left out a few demons. Now this one comes from an exclusive report, so I'm flagging it that way, but if it's true, Crystal Lake may finally give us something Friday fans have wanted for years. Jason in the Snow? According to Dread Central, Peacock's upcoming series will feature a snow set episode with Jason slashing his way through winter. And honestly, red on white is such a filthy good visual for this franchise, it almost feels overdue. Inground is shaping up to be backyard suburbia nightmare fuel. Alexandra Daddario and John Cho are leading the swimming pool horror film, with Kyle Gallner and Raul Castillo now also on board. And really Scott Free is producing. The setup is simple and creepy in the best way. A dad trying to reconnect with his son by building a pool in the backyard, and of course that turns into absolute horror. Never trust a hole in the ground in a horror movie, ever. Robert Edgar's Werwulf is already giving off big-time The Witch energy, and that is very much not a complaint. The CinemaCon footage sounds bleak, medieval, cold, nasty, and pure Eggers. Aaron Taylor Johnson stars with Lily Rose Depp, Willem Dafoe, and Ralph Ineson in the mix. And everything about this sounds like a folk horror fever dream with fangs. If Eggers says this might be his darkest script yet, I'm listening. Now I'm excited for this one. In one of the more unexpected resurrections this week, Paramount has officially confirmed that World War Z is back in the works. Now, before everybody starts sprinting like zombies on espresso, details are still super thin right now, but after years of stalled out sequel talk, this thing is officially shambling back to life. Whether it brings Brad Pitt with it, that part's still foggy. Neon dropped a fresh trailer for Hokum, and this thing looks like a weird, witchy Irish nightmare in the best possible way. Adam Scott plays a novelist who ends up at a haunted inn while trying to scatter his parents' ashes, which already sounds like the start of a very bad vacation. Damian McCarthy, the director behind Oddity and Caveat, is steering this one, so expectations are sky high and the vibes are wonderfully cursed. Violent Night 2 is officially stuffing the stocking a little fuller because David Harbour is back as Santa, and now we know who's playing Mrs. Claus, Kristen Bell. That casting was revealed through CinemaCon footage, and honestly it feels like a perfect fit for the franchise's mix of sweetness and savage chaos. So yes, Christmas is once again under violent management. Yun Sang Ho's Colony has dropped its first footage, and this one is already hitting that sweet spot between outbreak horror and full-blown panic cinema. The Train to Busan mastermind is back in virus thriller territory, and the trailer gives off that grim, fast-moving, infection-spread dread that feels like a Resident Evil, a little Train to Busan, and very much its own beast. Consider me all the way in. On the gaming side, Quite a Ride is looking seriously cool. This is a bike-based survival horror game where you're riding through thick fog, conserving your phone battery, and trying not to become whatever's waiting in the dark. It's such a simple but fresh hook that it instantly stands out. Horror games love giving you a gun, but this one hands you a bike and a bad feeling. Yeah, Practical Magic 2 is real, the trailer is out, and Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman are officially back. The film is now set for September 11th, and it looks like Warner is leaning hard into the spooky legacy of the original while bringing the Owens family curse back into play. For fans of the first movie, this is catnip with a black candle. Oh man, Frankie Maniac Woman has put out a Red Band trailer, and it is gloriously not shy about the gore. The movie mixes serial killer horror comedy, social commentary, and some very messy bloodshed, with Dinah Silva playing a woman who finally snaps in spectacular fashion. If you like your slashers a little ugly, a little funny, and a little unhinged, keep this one on the radar. Affection drops on May 8th, and the trailer makes it look like a nasty little memory loop nightmare. Jessica Roth stars as a woman trapped in a cycle where her memory keeps resetting, forcing her to piece together the truth before it all slips away again. It has that psychological sci-fi horror blend that can either completely wreck you or completely consume you, and I mean that as praise. One of the biggest eyebrow raisers this week, Curry Barker is set to write and direct A24's Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. That sentence alone feels like somebody rolled horror Twitter into a ball and lit it on fire. Barker's got a distinct voice, A24 has the brand cachet, and now the big question becomes whether they go grimy and mean, artsy and feral, or somehow both. DC just dropped the first trailer for Clayface, and this thing looks way more body horror than capes and punches. Tom Rhys-Harries is playing Matt Hagen, and the footage leans hard into grotesque transformation, melting flesh, and identity horror. If DC actually lets the movie be nasty, it could end up being one of the weirdest and most interesting comic book horror swings in a long time. And finally, Speed Demon just released its trailer, starring William H. Macy and Katie Cassidy, and this one looks like a Railway to Hell nightmare more than an Exorcism on Wheels setup. Think runaway train horror with supernatural energy baked into the premise. It's a fun hook, a grimy one, and definitely one of those titles that make you stop scrolling. So that's your Freshly Brewed Horror for this week. What are you most excited for? Let me know down below in the comments. Me personally, I'm excited for A24 getting the Texas Chainsaw license. Let's see where this goes. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it really helps me in the channel. And don't forget, head on over to CoffinCreekCoffee.com, use my code CHD for 10% off your full order. See you next time.